These are 3 must-have farms for Minecraft Bedrock you need to build. I won't waste any more of your time, let's go. This is the easiest iron farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you over 420 iron per hour. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is find an area to build the farm in, at least 150 blocks away from all other villages and villagers. And once we've found a location, we're going to use either scaffolding or building blocks and ladders, and we're going to pillar up 72 blocks. And after pillaring up 72 blocks, we're going to place building blocks going all the way around our scaffolding here, and then we're going to extend this platform out to be 8 blocks long. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to make a giant square. And when you're done, you should have a 3x8 square like we have here. We're going to grab our chest now, and we're going to come to the opposite side of our scaffolding and place down a double chest. We're then going to grab our building blocks and place down 2 building blocks on both sides of the chest, like so. Next, we're going to grab our hoppers, and we're going to jump up here and place down a hopper running into that chest, so crouch and place it so that the hopper is pointing down. Then we're going to place down another hopper running into that hopper, and then we're going to place down 8 hoppers running into one another. So let's place down 4 hoppers running into this central hopper, and then we're going to place down the rest of our hoppers running into these outside hoppers. Now these don't have to be symmetrical, but I like them to all run in so they look kind of similar. But again, just make sure everything is connected to this central hopper, and then it's going to flow down into this chest. Next, we're going to crouch, and we're going to come to the side of this block here and place down 3 blocks. Do the same thing on this other side, crouch and extend this out 3 blocks. Then we're going to go on both sides, and we're going to extend this out to be 2 blocks wide and 7 blocks long. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. And then we are going to fill in this entire back area here, and we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to extend this side out to be 2 blocks wide over in the front. So once all said and done, you should have a shape that looks like this. Next, we're going to grab our beds, and we're going to place down beds on each of these blocks like so. So we're going to place down 6 beds here, come to the other side, and place down another 6 beds, just like this. And then we're going to place down 6 more beds in this center square, and then our final 2 beds like this. So that is a total of 20 beds. Next, we're going to come on top of these hoppers, and we're going to crouch and place down 2 blocks on the center on top of these beds, and we're going to build out 3 more blocks for a total of 5 blocks coming out of these central hoppers, and we're going to do this on every side. And once you've done that, connect it all up into a giant 13x13 platform with the 3x3 hoppers in the center. Next, you want to go to the side of the farm with the scaffolding, and you see these 3 blocks that are exposed to the sky. We need to place down 3 building blocks going over top of our platform, that way no iron golems spawn on this lip. If these blocks aren't here, then iron golems can spawn on these 3 blocks, which will mess up the farm. So these 3 blocks are very important. We're then going to grab our leaves, and we're going to place down a giant rim of leaves going all the way around the farm. And we're going to make this rim 2 blocks tall. And after placing down all of our leaves, we're going to grab our signs now, and we're going to crouch and place our signs on top of these hoppers. So we're going to place down 9 signs on top of our 9 hoppers. We're then going to grab our building blocks, and we're going to go to each of these corners, and we're going to build out by 4 blocks. And we're just going to do this in every side of the farm, which is going to allow our water to flow to the center of where is eventually going to be the kill chamber. So once we've placed down all of our blocks in each of these corners, we're going to grab our water source blocks, and you can easily create an infinite water source block by just creating a little area here and throwing down your 2 water buckets. You can then grab your water, place it in the corner, grab your water, place it in the corner, grab your water, place it in the corner, and do it for the last corner as well. Go ahead and remove your infinite source block now, and we're going to clear out all of these blocks. And as you can see, all of the water is flowing over to these hoppers. Now these are currently taking up valuable spawn locations, so we're going to remove all of these building blocks that we used to spread the water, which is going to allow iron golems to spawn in this far corner as well. And after all of that, this is what the farm should currently look like. All of the water sources are flowing down to these central hoppers here. Now this is only the first layer of spawn locations. We're actually going to make a second platform. So we're going to place down 2 temporary blocks right here, and then a block right here, which is going to give the iron golems on this layer 3 blocks of headspace so that they can spawn on both layers. We're then going to remove these 2 temporary blocks, and we're once again going to be building our giant platform, which is a 13 by 13 square, and we're going to leave the center 3 by 3 empty so that the iron golems can fall down into this kill chamber. And after building your second layer, this is what the farm should now look like. We're going to grab our leaf blocks now, and we're going to place down a temporary block on this rim, place down a leaf block, break our temporary block, and then we're just going to do the same thing, creating a 2-block tall rim going all the way around this platform, and we're going to do the exact same thing with the water. Before you place in your water though, each of these triangles is only going to be 3 blocks long and 3 blocks wide, and we're also going to come into our center here, and we're going to place down signs on all of these corner blocks. So a sign and then a sign on top, and do the same thing on this side, and that's going to prevent the water from falling into our 3 by 3 hole, which again is eventually going to have lava, so we can't have water flowing there. So this is what it should now look like. We're going to place down our water buckets in each of these corners, and then we're again going to remove those blocks underneath of the water sources so that we get back that spawn location. Because again, if those blocks are there, nothing can spawn here, but with them removed, an iron golem can spawn in this corner. So again, we're just going to remove all of these blocks. And with that, we have built all of the spawn layers. So the next thing we're going to build is the kill chamber. Now bear with me because this is probably the most confusing part of the tutorial just because of how many signs we're about to place, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. First, we're going to place down signs on top of these bottom 9 signs here. After placing down those signs, we're going to place down signs on the sides of those second layer of signs. And then after placing down these side signs, like you see here, we're going to place down signs on top of the signs that we've just placed on the side. So when it's all said and done, we should have a reverse pyramid of signs. So it should get wider from the bottom to the top. And on top, I hate placing signs so much. On top of that, if you look in the center of this, you should have this center 3 by 3 be air blocks, because we're going to place down our lava on this center sign right here by crouching, and try not to fall into it, but if you do, it's probably not the end of the world because there's water all around. But this is what it should look like. So if all of your signs are placed correctly, this is what it should look like, and I'll just stay still here if you need to pause the video. Alright, on the opposite side of the iron farm from the scaffolding, so on this side right here, we're going to come to the center, and on this first layer of leaves, we're going to place down a block. So it's the center of the farm, first layer of leaves, opposite side of the scaffolding. We're then going to extend this out to a total of 5 blocks wide, like you see here, and then we're going to extend this out 7 blocks. So 3 on this side, and 3 on this side, and then go ahead and make a nice little platform here, and then we're going to add 3 more blocks on both ends of this platform. So we're going to place down 3 blocks right here, and 3 blocks on this side as well. Next, we're going to grab our fletching tables, or whatever workstation you would like. We're going to place down our workstations on all of these outside blocks, like you see here, so that the center area of this room should be 21 blocks, or 7 blocks by 3 blocks wide. And then we're going to place down a layer of building blocks on top of those workstations. Alright, correction, we're actually going to remove those building blocks, and this layer over top of the workstations is going to be leaf blocks, and then the ceiling is also going to be leaf blocks, but we're going to wait to put that on because we need to get our villagers inside of this chamber. Now the easiest way to do that is once you've kidnapped your 2 villagers, you have them in a boat with a lead, we're going to look up at our little chamber where the villagers are going to go, and we're just going to offset it a little bit. So your crosshair shouldn't be underneath of it, just kind of like beside it. This is a pretty good place to pillar up, so I'm just going to jump, and we're going to pillar up all the way until we are above that chamber. Then we're going to bridge over so we can just gently drop these guys into our little room with all of the workstations. And I actually thought that I had pillared much farther away, so we're just going to get these to the other side, so just, come on. I'm going to bridge over here, and I'm going to keep pillaring up. So once we're in here, we're just going to go ahead and drop them in. Come on, guys. Welcome to your new home. Go ahead and break the boat. They should be in here now. We can get rid of all of this scaffolding, and in fact, you do need to get rid of this pillar eventually. I'm just going to do this right now, and then we're going to head up and breed our villagers. And doing that is incredibly simple. All you have to do is throw them 2 stacks of carrots, beetroots, potatoes, or bread. They're going to trade back and forth with those, and if they ever do stop breeding, just throw a little bit more food in there, and they should continue going. But in the meantime, place down a temporary block, and then we're just going to fill in this entire ceiling with leaves, and they're going to start breeding. Just build a little chamber to the side, so that way, you know, you are in the area to let them breed. And it should only take like 30 minutes to an hour for there to be 20 villagers, because that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for there to be 20 villagers with no green coats. So if there's any green coats, then you're unfortunately going to have to kill them. But just, oh, you can see, damn, they are quick to it. They are already breeding. So we're just going to wait to have 20 villagers, and then we can remove this little chamber. This is just so that we don't get attacked by phantoms while we wait. Dude, the new little baby villagers, what the hell? That's so adorable. Anyways, they will not be contributing to the workforce, so they have to go, and same with green coats. Obviously, the baby villagers are going to grow up into working individuals, so that's fine, but none of the green coats, and as you can see, as soon as I remove one, wow, this is, I'm going to keep it PG. So yeah. Obviously, baby villagers are going to grow up into working individuals, so they are going to contribute to the iron golem spawning. However, green coats do have to go because they just take up room, and they are not going to contribute to spawning iron golems. So once you have 20 adult villagers in here, this thing should start going almost immediately. The only thing we have left to do is we need to tame 5 cats and keep them in the area, and the easiest way to do that is there's going to be cats that spawn in this bottom layer. Just put them on a lead and then lead them up and then tame them and place them somewhere along the farm. But as you can see, we already have an iron golem. But yeah, by having the 5 cats there, we are going to make the rates even stronger. Yay, we got more iron golems. We're going to make the rates even stronger by having 5 cats tamed, because that is going to basically, every time the village wants to spawn something, it's going to spawn either a cat or an iron golem, and by having 5 cats, it will never try to spawn a cat, so it's only going to spawn iron golems. So yeah, tame 5 cats, put them on a lead, bring them up, do whatever, but we need to tame 5 cats. Bro, the baby cats too, oh my god. Oh, yeah, you can see that there's a cat here. The easiest way to get them is to just break a leaf block and then put them on a lead, and then lead them out of the farm, which, you know, you can then tame them. That's going to be a lot of work, I'm going to be honest, but you do need to tame 5 cats. I wish I had some super easy way to tame 5 cats and get them out of the farm, but honestly, it's probably pretty annoying. You got to put them on a lead, build a bridge out, bring them up here, and then tame them on the leaves. There's not really a shortcut. It's just going to suck and take some time, but it's well worth it. I highly recommend taming the cats because it is going to make the farm a lot more efficient. But once you have your cats and they're tamed and they're in the area, all we're going to do is come down and go to our AFK area. And all you got to do is hang out here, and all of the iron is going to end up inside of this chest. So I'm going to go ahead and AFK for an hour. But again, if you want to prevent phantoms from killing you, you should probably just box yourself in a little bit better. Maybe throw a door here. But yeah. So as you can see in that time lapse, we AFK'd for an hour and got just over 6.5 stacks of iron, which is just over 420 iron in a single hour. I've been hanging around the farm, and in that time, you know, we've got 5, 6, 7, like, this makes tons of iron. Never count on camera. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is the easiest XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you over 50 levels in 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is dig out a 3x3 by 3 block deep hole, or a 3x3 cube. After digging out your cube, we're going to place down a sand block in the center of the hole with a cactus on top and a composter on top of that cactus. Grab your water bucket and place it in any corner in whatever direction the water is flowing in. We're going to dig down 3 blocks, 1 block across, like this. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to dig out a 3 block strip, which is 2 blocks deep. Go ahead and remove these 2 blocks as well, and we're going to place down an observer facing in this direction and an observer facing in this direction. But first, we're going to remove this block right here. Place down your observer, so this is what it should look like. From this area right here, you should see the red dot, and it should be bouncing back and forth. Next, we're going to place down a lightning rod in this hole and remove this block right here so that the water flows over to the lightning rod. Next, we're going to grab our sticky piston, and we're going to break this block right here and place our sticky piston upside down so that it is pointing down into the observer. and then grab whatever block you would like and just pillar up, and then just go ahead and fill in all of these blocks right here. Again, you can use whatever you want. I'm using grass blocks so it looks natural. Next, we're going to place down a lever on top of this piston so that, well, first let's place down our trapdoor here so we can see it. So we're going to place it on this side, which is going to go up and down, and it is going to open away from the farm. Once you've placed down your trapdoor, go ahead and flick this lever and it should stop clicking. And this is where our trident killer is going to be. Next, we're going to grab our leaves, and we're going to create a rim of leaves. You can use whatever block you would like, but I like having this look kind of like a miniature iron farm, so I tend to use leaves, and I think it looks pretty good. We're then going to come over here and dig down 2 blocks. Well, not inside the hole, dig down 2 blocks, and this is going to be where our zombie is. So let's place down another trapdoor right here and open it up, and then place down a temporary little enclosure so that we can punch our zombie into this hole. And we can't forget that we need to have our block so that the zombie doesn't die in the sunlight. So this is going to prevent him from burning up in the daytime. And once it's nighttime and you have a zombie nearby, make sure to have a named name tag so that he doesn't despawn. And we're just going to get him inside of this hole. So lure him over and then punch him in. Get in there. Get in there. Get into your new home. Go. Get in. Go. 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 Don't die. There we go. And then simply name him. Close the trapdoor, and we can remove all of this scaffolding. And the next thing we need to do is create a little temporary bridge so that we can get our armadillos into that composter. So let's just go ahead and build up some scaffolding like so. And then we're going to build a little platform which you're going to hold your armadillos in. So this is going to be, let's make it a little bit bigger. This is going to be the room where the armadillos sit in. Again, you can use whatever block you want, dirt, it doesn't matter. This is a very temporary structure. So this is what we're going to be working with, and then let's just raise these walls to be 2 blocks tall. Now, in order to get your armadillos here, all you need is 2 armadillos, and then you can use spider eyes to breed them, and then you can have a total of 5. Now, you can have as many as you want. Just keep in mind, the more armadillos you have, the more lag this farm is going to cause, and 5 is going to be plenty. This should get you well over, 60 or 70 levels in just 3 minutes. So I'm going to be using 5, but if you're on a lower end device, maybe just use 1 or 2, and then if that works, maybe you can, make more armadillos. Okay, correction, that is going to take forever, and it's very annoying, so instead, just place down 3 rails right here and have a minecart, and all we're going to do is place down a minecart, put our armadillo in here, push them over to the composter, and then just click on the corner of the minecart, and they will be perfectly lined up with the center of the composter. Now just do this with each of them, and then you'll have all of your armadillos inside of the area. There we go. And once you have all of your armadillos in there, we can go ahead and get rid of all of this scaffolding we just made. And unfortunately, they are doomed to an eternity of suffering. So let's just clean this place up, and then we can continue working. All right, we are very nearly done. All we need to do now is throw our tridents onto this trapdoor, and however many armadillos you put in here, make sure you put that many amount of tridents. I've got 5 armadillos here. If I just threw 1 trident, this thing would literally take maybe 30 minutes to catch up because of how much lag it would cause. So very important, the number of armadillos you have equals the number of tridents you're going to be throwing. Now, this lightning rod is going to be the thing balancing the tridents, so we're going to aim at the center of that trapdoor right here. Just like that. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last thing we need to do is place down our fence post right here. That way we don't accidentally fall in or pick up the tridents. If you fell in, that would be extremely bad. And now all you need is your splash potion of infestation, and we are ready to use the farm. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this block is very important, so he doesn't die. All right, one more thing, make sure that this layer of leaves is 2 blocks tall and you have a little step up here, because if it's only 1 block tall, I had like 3 silverfish jump out, which was very annoying, and if you do end up leaving your computer running or whatever you're playing on, then that is a very easy way to die. So make sure that it's 2 blocks tall to keep all the silverfish contained, and now we are ready to use the farm with our splash potion of infestation. All we're going to do is throw it at the center where those armadillos are. The silverfish are going to come out, turn on your trident killer, and then just sit here and wait and watch the levels flow. So I'll be back in about 3.5 minutes, and we'll see how many levels I get. Alright, it looks as though the XP is starting to slow down a bit, so we are probably nearing the end. And yeah, it's just finishing off the last couple of silverfish, but look at that, 57 levels in like 2.5 minutes, which is absolutely insane. This thing is This is a game changer. The only thing I'm going to mention is make sure that when you re-enter your world, you re-throw these tridents. So you're going to have to break this block, pick up the tridents, and then we're going to have to re-throw them. Because when you load out of the game, the tridents tend to glitch through the trapdoor, and then the trident killer is broken. And if your trident killer is broken and you throw the potion, you are going to have thousands of silverfish, which are basically unable to be killed because the game will be so laggy. So it's very, very important that you re-throw those tridents if you leave the game and reopen the game every time you use this farm. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is WhatUpMC, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. This is the easiest mob XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock in Java Edition. This farm will get you to over level 30 in under 20 minutes and drop gunpowder, bones, arrows, rotten flesh, and much, much more. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is build up 72 blocks, and you can either count or add 72 to your Y coordinate. After building up 72 blocks, we're going to build a 4x6 platform around our scaffolding. Next, we're going to place down a double chest, then grab your hoppers and come behind the chest and place down 4 hoppers running into one another. Next, we're going to grab our building blocks and we're going to place down building blocks going around both the chest and the hoppers like so. Then we're going to do another layer, but instead of placing down blocks over top of the chest, we're going to grab our slabs now, and we're going to place slabs on the top half of those blocks so that you can crouch and see the hoppers. Next, we want to grab our carpets and place down 4 carpets over top of those hoppers. That way none of the XP is going to get stuck in the hoppers when we're killing the mobs. Then we're going to grab our building blocks and we're going to come up here and we're going to build up 19 blocks from this layer. And when it's all said and done, your tube should be 20 blocks from here down to this carpet. So that should be a 20 block drop chamber. Next, we're going to grab our blocks and we're going to build out 8 blocks in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then let's go and do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we need to connect these 2 corners into a giant square, which is going to be 20 by 20 blocks, with our 2 by 2 drop chamber in the center, which will look like this. Next, we want to do a layer of blocks going all the way around our platform like this. This is going to be the water streams that carry all of the mobs that fall off of our platforms into the drop chamber. After placing down your row of blocks like we have here, we're going to place down building blocks in each of these corners, just like this. And then we're going to grab our stair blocks and we're going to fill in these layers with stairs connecting between those blocks that we've just placed down. Next, we want to make a temporary infinite water source, so just place down some building blocks like this, and then go ahead and fill it in with 2 water buckets to create an infinite water source. Then you're just going to grab a bucket, the water, go ahead and waterlog your stair, come back to the source, and just do this for the entire farm. And if everything is built correctly, the water should be leading to the drop chamber absolutely perfectly. Next, we need to place down a row of blocks on the outside covering these stairs so that way none of the sunlight comes through these stairs, because stairs are a transparent block, which means that if we aren't covering these up, then our mob farm is actually going to be too bright to spawn mobs. And then we're going to place down another row of blocks over top of these stairs, just like this. And then after we're done placing down this final row, we are ready to build the first layer of platforms, which is extremely simple. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our building blocks, and we're going to come over 1 block right here, place down a temporary block, and then a block right here. Go ahead and remove that block. And now we're just going to build a platform or a ring that's 1 block separated from the wall that we just built. So we're going to do this all the way around the farm, just like this. Whoops. And then we're going to grab our building blocks again, and we're going to find the center of this ring. So we're going to come over 1 block, because we don't want to be building over top of that hole right there. And then we're going to come over 2 blocks as well, just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And this is the shape that you should be left with after building the template for your platforms. We are then going to grab our blocks and fill in each of the giant squares inside of this template, leaving the smaller rectangles and this center square empty. And after filling in each of your squares, we're going to remove these blocks that are connecting the template together so that when it's all said and done, we should have 4 7x7 squares. I'm going to show you how to do one of these platforms, and then we're just going to do it to each of these square platforms here. So we're going to take our trapdoors, and we're going to place down trapdoors going all the way around the rim of the platform. Then we're going to grab our trapdoors again, and we're going to place down trapdoors in the center of the platform. We're going to make like a little grid pattern here. So we're going to place down 9 trapdoors like this. And then we're going to grab our buttons, and we're going to place down buttons on all of the blocks in between these trapdoors like so. So on this platform, we should have a 3x3 grid of trapdoors, and then a 4x4 grid of buttons like this. And then finally, just go around and open all of the trapdoors that are surrounding this platform. What's going to happen is no spiders are going to spawn due to the trapdoors and buttons, but then all of the zombies, skeletons, creepers, whatever, are going to walk off or fall into the drop chamber. And after filling in all 4 platforms, this is what it should look like. I personally think it looks really cool. And then we're going to go to the outer wall, and we're going to place down 3 layers of blocks. Now, after placing down your 3 layers of blocks, you have 2 directions that you can take this. One, you can leave it here and throw a roof on it and call it a day, or you could build up to 3 more layers for a total of 4 layers worth of platforms. Now, the best way I can describe the rates of this farm is that as it stands right now, with 1 layer of platforms, it's about as efficient as running around at night and slaying mobs that way. If you were to build 2 layers of platforms, it's about as efficient as a mob spawner. However, by building 4 layers of platforms, this farm is twice as efficient as a mob spawner, or 4 times as efficient as running around at night. More materials, but more efficiency. You can always come back and upgrade your farm later. Now, building more layers is extremely simple. All you're going to do is replicate exactly what we just built, except you're going to do it 3 blocks higher. So 1, 2, 3, and on this layer right here, you would just build these platforms again. But once you've decided I have enough platforms, also I should mention, don't build more than 4 platforms, because this farm really does max out at 4 layers. Anything more than 4 layers, and you're going to have the exact same rates. But once you're done building your platforms, we're going to throw a giant roof over top of this and just fill in this layer of blocks. Again, leaving 2 blocks of gap or air between your roof and your layers. And then finally, just place down 4 torches on each of these corners of the farm. And then we're going to go back down to our AFK platform, which is down here. And we're going to place down 2 torches on these 2 blocks. And finally, we need to come all the way down to the bottom of our scaffolding. And I like to make it symmetrical and just place down 4 torches like this. And in Bedrock Edition, we can easily make this farm AFKable by adding a trident killer. So we're just going to clear out these blocks, place down a temporary ceiling so no mobs fall on you, and then we're going to clear out all of these walls. And after clearing out our walls, we're going to grab our pistons now and place a piston on this chest diagonal to the scaffolding. Then remove the chest and place down our double chest this way so that we can open it. And then we're going to remove our hoppers and carpets just so we can rerun the hoppers to make sure everything is running into one another. So this hopper runs into that chest, and then our hoppers run into one another like so. Next, we're going to place down a block next to this chest, and then grab our pistons now, and place our pistons in an alternating pattern so none of the pistons are in front of one another like this. We're going to grab our redstone torches now, and place down a redstone torch on the sides of each of these pistons. And then we're going to grab our observers, and we're going to place down the observers so that they are looking at the redstone torches. So the observer face should be looking towards the redstone torch. And we're going to do this for each of these redstone torches, and then we can leave, and we're going to build up our walls. So we're going to reconnect this to our drop chamber. And finally, we're going to grab our cobblestone slab, place down the slab right here so that there's a half slab slot. And actually, we need to remove those temporary blocks we placed in so no mobs fall on us. Go ahead and rebuild that chamber here so that this is what you're looking at. Go ahead and throw your trident at that back piston. At that back piston. And then place down a lever on this piston, turn it on, and the trident is going to then be pushed around by those pistons, making this farm completely AFKable. Make sure if you are using this trident killer to hold a looting 3 sword for the best rates. And using this farm is extremely simple. Make sure you're using a looting 3 sword for the maximum drops. This is the version with 4 drops. As you can see, it makes a lot of drops and it's gives you plenty of XP. They're going to drop down here. You're just going to kill them. And ideally, you have mending on your sword as well. That way you're not losing durability. Alright, that was 5 minutes worth of AFKing, so as you can see, this is quite an efficient farm. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I'll catch you in the next one.